Okay. Yeah, sorry for that. I have had network interference. I just began the station, then it dropped off, but I'm back on there. Um, Thank you for patience for those who are still waiting for the station to start. As you can see from the topic, Matiangi ameleta shida. The revelation of the CS Matiangi in the security committee has generated a lot of political heat. What was expected as him appearing and sharing issues to do with the security withdrawal or reassigning, as they put it, ended up to be like a lifestyle audit for the deputy president. And this has generated a lot of political heat, and there's back and forth exchanges on social media and mainstream media. And so we just want to have a conversation over the same. I know it's even becoming more of an emotive issue, but I know as Kenyans, as we continue to debate upon these issues, we will continue to be sober. Hakuna haja ya matusi, just make your point, whether you support what Matiangi did, whether you don't support what he did, without necessarily degenerating into a bitterness or anger or abuses, because that is not the intention of us having this conversation this evening. So I've seen already quite a number of people have started commenting. Welcome in studio. We have Ruben. Welcome Rubia. Welcome Mala, and welcome Ocheng. Kindly let's mute so that there's no interference. Until you are given chance to talk is when you unmute, so that we don't have echoes. So I will give you just a few clips just to refresh us, and then we begin the conversation of what was happening, just to refresh us of what was going on yesterday in the security committee. Yes.
Are you speaking from heaven? Because I can see your book. It's like you are
can't
in
hear
heaven.
me. You can't hear me. You can't hear me.
No, you are. It's like you are in heaven, my friend. I can see your background.
Oh, I'm in the skies. Huh?
You're in the sky. Can you greet
Yeah, I will
Angel
come back on
Gabriel?
earth. I will come back on earth after I've delivered this message from the heavens.
You can greet
Your background
Gabriel.
is wonderful.
Okay, let me share a few clips. We just capture what happened. We refresh our memories, and then we
Even new, and I've left out so many details for obvious reasons because it's a document that is going to be exposed to the public. If you look at the protection of the deputy president in terms of its infrastructure, is a multi-layered endeavor. The layer that is critical to us is the inner layer, which is essentially the core security ecosystem for His Excellency the Deputy President. And this is occupied by the Presidential Escort Unit. Currently, His Excellency the Deputy President has got 74 officers, that layer, who provide 24/7 protection of His Excellency the Deputy President. And if I didn't remove the details on this, if I had brought the actual architecture as is drawn and presented by security people, which I can't because this is an open meeting for obvious reasons, we normally say that the protection is given regardless of where, when, how, and so on. The presidential escort is dedicated to protecting the deputy president when he's seated, standing, lying down, moving 24/7. And he has got 74 officers dedicated to this under the command of a commissioner of police. There's a commissioner of police dedicated to this, assisted by one senior superintendent of police and 2 chief inspectors of police. By tradition and by law, that is how the holders of that office are protected. Mr. Chairman, I have taken the trouble to demonstrate to you, because I went back to the records, and if you look at the document you have marked Annex 2, I have taken the trouble to demonstrate to you that the holders of that office have been protected before from that unit. I have shown you the strength of personnel that protected that office before, and I've shown you the highest rank of command that managed that protection before. You will notice at the end of that document that the current holder of that office has got the highest number of personnel to be ever assigned in that office, and also the highest ranking police officer to command that protection of the current holder of the office. Because Honorable Jaramogi Oginga Odinga had 30 officers. Honorable Joseph Murumbi had 22. Honorable Daniel Arap Moi had 34. The Honorable President Mwai Kibaki had 26. The Honorable Josephat Karanja, 22. Honorable the late Professor George Saitoti, 30. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, 22. And Honorable Michael Kijana Wamalwa, 22. Honorable Mudi Awori, 22. Honorable Raila Odinga, although he did not occupy that office when he was Prime Minister, had 57. And Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, 26. The current holder of that office, the Honorable His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, has got 74. And you notice that throughout the period, the highest ranking officer protecting that office was a chief inspector. But in the current case, we have a commissioner of police, we have a senior superintendent of police, and 2 chief inspectors commanding this unit. This is the unit that provides the core protection or the core management of the security of His Excellency the Deputy President. But I'm going to demonstrate to you shortly, again using these documents, that this office is allocated even more officers than those ones. I want to emphasize one point, that contrary to what has been going around in public spaces and comments and some irresponsible discussions that the Deputy President doesn't have protection, he does have protection, because the team that protects the Deputy President is the presidential escort, not the outer ring. But
okay, you have heard the part of the discussion that was happening. It was just to refresh you. I know this is in public domain and everybody knows what has been shared so far. So I will welcome initial comments from Rubia, Ochel, in that order. Vincent, the way you came in. Just have an overview of what happened and what do you think? Or I also think we need to hear it from both sides, isn't it? So that it doesn't look one-sided. I wanted us to hear it from both sides, and then you can begin the discussion.
Mwisho wakasema ati hii makao haipaswi kulinda na GSU, inatakana AP. Hiyo ni mambo mzuri. What is the problem? Sio ni sawa? So, wakalete AP, sasa AP wanaendelea na kazi. Lakini sasa mimi sijakuwa deputy president last week. Si mimi nilikuwa deputy president from 2013. Na nimekuwa hapa from 2013. Sasa walichelewa wapi kujua ya kwamba sio GSU ni AP. Lakini mzuri pia wamerekebisha. Sasa tuendelee. Sina hiyo. Na tena katika hiyo harakati yote sasa wameamua sio tena mambo ya security. Sasa wameenda kutangaza, wameenda kunisaidia kufanya lifestyle audit. Na wamenisaidia. Kazi kubwa watu walikuwa wananiuliza, sasa wamefanya wenyewe. Bila hata ya sheria wamenifanyia. Unajua nilikuwa nimefanyiwa lifestyle audit na magazeti. Wakaandika Ruto ako na mali hii, Ruto ako na hii, Ruto ako na hii. Naye hawa watu wa OP wamekuja juzi wakaimprove ile ilikuwa imefanywa na magazeti. Sasa wameondoa vitu vingine hata haikuwa yangu. Walikuwa wamesema 680, wameondoa hiyo kwa sababu ilikuwa uongo. Wameondoa Boulevard, ilikuwa uongo. Lakini sasa waliongeza ingine kidogo ambaye sio yangu. Pengine nitawasaidia. Kwa sababu kwa properties 10 waliandika about 70% ni true, ile ingine si ukweli. Kama ile wanisema ati mimi niko na 10,000 acres huko ya ADC, mimi sina. So hiyo waende watoe. Alafu tena niwasaidie kidogo. Walisahau pia kuweka shares. Niko na shares 400,000 ya Safaricom. Wangeweka hiyo. Na pia wangeweka kama kuna askari pia wanalinda huko. Wangeongeza hiyo. Na tena walisahau kusema ile biashara yangu ya kuku niliona wanaandika acreage. Sasa pale wangeandika iko kuku 1,200. Na wangesema huyu mtu anauza mayai 150,000 every day, shilingi 1.5 million. Hiyo wangeweka namna hiyo. Alafu wangemalizia waende wa bank wajue wako na pesa ngapi na iko loan kiasi gani. Sasa ndio wangemalizia hapo kwa hiyo lifestyle audit. Si namna hiyo ndio ikawa mzuri. So wamejaribu, si mbaya, wamejaribu kufanya hiyo lifestyle audit ya William Ruto. So sasa wangeendelea sasa na hiyo lifestyle audit, tuende kwa mwingine, kwa namna hiyo. Ndio maneno ikae sawa sawa. What is the problem? Tunaelewana?
Okay, Rubia, get started. Now you have heard from both sides of the coin.
Okay, sir, you can give it to somebody because my background has got a lot of noise, and I will talk later, please.
Okay, Ochen.
Hey, Wekesa. Hello.
Ochen.
Hello.
Ochen. Hello. Can you get started? Tunakusikia Ochen.
Can you hear me?
Tunakusikia.
Oh, okay. For me, commenting on what CS Matiangi said, I think CS Matiangi for one, he doesn't he lack respect for the office, which currently is held by Dr. William Ruto. Then comparing Ruto to the past vice president, I think it's not in order because currently we don't have a vice president. And I think Matiangi is somebody learned. So Ruto cannot be compared. Ruto's office cannot be compared to any other office because in the past we never had a deputy president. We only had the vice president. And by the way, jokingly, you know, initially the times of Saitoti, the times of when Mwai Kibaki was vice president, our economy was, we had a budget of some 200-300 billion. Currently, we have loan alone is over 10 trillion. So we must adjust with the times. We can't keep that, since that if Kibaki had 26 police officers when he was the VP, Dr. Ruto, who is a deputy president, she will also have 20. No, it can't be that way. We move. You know, currently Kenya has so many old leaders who are still thinking. They're thinking of the past. We are past that. We need to be moving with. We move with age. We are in a digital nation. We should not be thinking of the past, as in, since Kalonzo had 20, Ruto should also have 20. I think that is it doesn't make sense. And for me, in conclusion, I think CS Matiangi overstepped his mandate by comparing the office of the Deputy President of Kenya to a vice president who never had an office. But the vice presidents never had any office. The vice presidents were not elected; they were appointed. That is why they were being retired on the roadside by the former President Moi. So to me, it doesn't make sense to me. It was like he wanted to bash the DP, and I think he did it. Thank you. Wekesa, thank you.
Okay. Since your initial comments, let me not comment. Let's move to the next person.
No, you can as we move on.
I can take my chance.
You are back now.
Yes.
Okay. You can proceed. It was your chance, then you swapped with him. Proceed. Proceed.
But now I am taking it. Okay, thank you very much, the team. And the topic is good. And what I would like, my contribution is, I don't see whether vice president or deputy president, what are the functions that the people are doing differently? It's still the deputy president and the vice president, both of them, or all of them, are just deputizing the president. So that is the point. There's no any added function apart from, I think, the process that these people get into the office that has changed. But the functions are still being assigned by the president. And you can see the madness in our country. If we talk of wage bill, we talk of so many things, and we can see where, as Kenyans, we waste money. We are wasting a lot of money on unnecessary things. Like now, if you say a deputy president has got 74 security officers attached to him, and that is not wrong. What is wrong is that why would a security officer that is employed by our tax is being attached to a private property? I think a private property is a private business, and it is not a public property. And the public money should not be used in any way to facilitate the operations of a private entity. So it is quite unfortunate that we are hearing such things. It is also quite unfortunate that these people are given a lot of security, and they misuse these securities, and we pay them. And if you go to some parts of this country, there's a lot of insecurity. Just the other day, I saw there was something going around in the social media that there was no enough security going. So you can see the
It's breaking
we
up.
should not even be hearing this from the interior CS, because they should do the right thing. They should not come to us to complain, because that is like complaining. It's complaining that the deputy president is actually overprotected, and a lot of security officers attached to him, paid by the taxpayer. It is quite unfortunate on the government side, and the government should move with the speed to actually downsize those security officers. I know they are assigned everywhere, and we can, you know, in our government in this country, is that when you come out or you bring to light a corruption case for an individual politician, then they will also come with another case. Like in this case, they will still also come up with a security for the president, security for other top government officials. So it is a matter of exchanging bitterness, which is not right for our country. We actually, where we are right now.
What is that? What is that? What is that being displayed?
If the
Wekesa, what are you
government
displaying there?
led by Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto were crying of a huge wage bill, and they were blaming the counties, and we are seeing where the monies are being wasted. Even the last time when BBI was coming, they were talking about big wage bills, and you see the government is wasting money, is losing money on unnecessary things. So it is high time that the government actually downsize. First, they start with the deputy president, and in any other office that unnecessary attachment has been done. On the issue that Achel was talking about, Achel, I think you are testing us, because actually, if we have deputy president now and we had a vice president, there is nothing different. And attaching being overprotected is madness, and this thing should be changed. I think for now that is my small contribution. And while we are contributing, please let us just try to be reasonable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rubia. The next person will be
Wekesa.
Yes.
Wekesa. I think for us to move with speed and move well, kila mtu ajitetee. We love that time for attacking others. I think that is why he avoided going fast. Thank you.
Okay, the next person is Nelson, then Jonathan, in that order, then Mala.
Thanks, Wekesa. Thank you, Wekesa. Good evening, everyone. So for today, the topic of today is quite an awesome one and quite interesting. And I've heard Rupia reasoning, I've heard Ochingo Chiel reasoning, and I know many other people will reason. I will be in the background after my contribution. I will be listening, but I want to have some engagement. That's why I requested Wekesa to give me an opportunity. Now, my point is this, quickly jumping into the topic. The cabinet secretary. Can you? Oh, sorry, I lost the connection shortly. First of all, I can see Ayaga is there. Ayaga has brought his face so that at least he can see and hear me. First of all, I have to say that I'm a disappointed citizen and youth with the kind of leaders we have. I'm even surprised that we are here talking about the number of security officers that are allocated to the office of the deputy president. Yet, we as normal wananchi, we barely see even police officers around the residences where we stay. And that is why we have lots of insecurity cases left, right, center. And the few that we have, what do? When they see a young man with dreadlocks, the young man is arrested and later on tortured and killed. It is so sad. And it is so sad for us to even talk about how many. But the hypocrisy that was witnessed in Matiangi and Kibicho and the Ministry of Defense and even the IG Mutembe is quite unprinted. You know, before you tell me that, first of all, one thing that we cannot even argue about is that the office of the deputy president must be respected at all costs, and it is a mandatory thing that is commanded and demanded by the constitution. And before you come before a parliamentary sitting to tell people how many police officers you have allocated to that department or to that office, how many police officers are securing you yourself as the CS? Because by mere fact saying that the deputy president has requested for more security enhancement in his private business, homes, and the rest, to a tune of 251 or 257, what do you think we should think of you being the person who is now in charge with whom the request comes to? And now you have the mandatory to give the prerogative to give yourself the security. That question people are not asking. People are asking themselves, why is Ruto having many security officers? But this is my question, a simple question. In the first tenure of 2013 to 2017, the relationship between the deputy president and the president was so perfect. Walikuwa kama mapacha. We did not at any given point see the then and even the current office of the Minister of Interior trying to reason that, you know what, we have realized that the people who have been securing the DP are not the right people. The right people who are supposed to be securing it are the AP. That is where I see the hypocrisy. Why didn't we see the change in the first tenure? Why now? Even if the number has been increased, even if the number has been reduced, even if I do not have any problem with that. Why now? And this kind of behavior has been the order of the day whenever you are against the government of the day, or rather whenever you are having fights and loggerheads with the current government of the day. We saw the then opposition leaders, Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, and many others. Their security officers were being withdrawn whenever they had an issue with the government, whenever they had a loggerhead with the government. My question is, why does it become so convenient for this office to act in such a manner, mischievous manner, whenever the victim has an issue or rather a bone to chew with the current government? Those are my questions. Then the second thing, I've always said that Ruto the person could be very good. Ruto the person could be not very good per se, but could not. Okay, the only thing that I find with the deputy president is that his statements are so unprecedented. The people around him are also making reckless comments that are really sensitive. Like, for example, if you hear today when he was talking about the shares and the rest, if you could have listened to the earlier speakers, they were talking about sensitive issues that are not supposed to be talked about in public. That you have to remember that there are some cases of land, tukishika ushukani tutakuuliza. You know, such kind of statements I find them careless. So for me, I find Ruto's side, the mistake that he has is to take advantage of whatever slightest opportunity that comes across with the likes of Itumbi and his machinery, who manages his social media and the public relations, whatever. they take advantage and build castles out of the air and create a narrative that really works so well for them. But this is my take. For me, I think if at all Matiangi and the office was so honest enough, they were supposed to come clean and say, okay, the deputy president is secured by so and so number of police officers. I, Matiangi, sitting here, I only have 10, I only have 5, I only have 3. The current president that we are having is having maybe 1,000. I think it was only fair not to concentrate, it could have been only fair not to concentrate on one person and then subject him to be the most biggest fool or other liar or other sympathy seeker or other, and then you leave the other people aside. But having said that, let me make something that maybe was not part and parcel of this. For me, I think the game that is being played here, neither me, nor you, Wekesa, nor Ayaga, nor any other person here will understand. I think that if the government wants to make you, it fights you. If the government wants to help you, it becomes your enemy number one. And the next thing that is going to happen for you is that you're going to have a lot of sympathy from the general public. And so you will be riding on that sympathy. The history of this nation, there is none. No one has ever been fronted by the sitting president and has won an election. Don't be shocked if this turns out to be a ploy again between Uhuru and Ruto to support Ruto and give Ruto mileage and give Ruto sympathy and give Ruto all the platforms that he needs in order to ride on that path, only to be seen that the president does not support him, so that at least it can, break the chains and the history of whatever thing that has been happening. Because we've not seen anywhere where the current president has ever said that mimi hata kama nilisema 10 yangu 10 yake, hiyo nimerevoke. Hatujaiona. All that we see are just, charades and bravados and all that kind of stuff. But on this topic, to be specific, Matiangi does not respect the office of the deputy president. Anaweza kosea Ruto heshima, lakini aheshimu hii ofisi. Akianza kuanika kila mtu na masecurity zao, aanike mpaka yeye, aanike mpaka Kibicho, aanike mpaka president, because they were elected as a duo, as a pair. And for your information, I'm not a supporter, the Ruto. Thank you.
Okay. We have heard you. The next person is Jonathan.
Oh,
Jonathan?
yes. How are you all? It's good to be back. Today I'm a very sad person because 2 wrongs don't make a right. Because today I hear some people from the other side. They have now started talking like, mmeanza kuongea because of this and because of that, because ya mashamba fulani alichukua shamba ya fulani alichukua shamba ya watu fulani. That is a recipe of chaos in Kenya, because like wakianza kuongea stories huyu amechukua shamba ya fulani, huyu alichukua shamba ya watu fulani. It's very sad and people are very happy and clapping, but they don't know that is a very, very provocative word to say in front of some Kenyans, because Kenyans, they are very sensitive when it comes to like who grabs the land from who takes this from who. It's very sad today. Yes. Because some people they're speaking very. I hear today some people they were just speaking a very, very sensitive matter, and it's a very sad thing to say, like fulani and alichukua mashamba nyingi kushinda fulani. That is a very wrong statement to make, my dear panelists, because we are going to election, and now we are becoming very sensitive to the matters that we don't need to speak in front of Kenyans and some other tribes, because we will say this tribe took the farm from the other tribes. That's the recipe for chaos, and we are going to be very bad. And to speak about Matiangi, they are the one who told Matiangi to appear in a committee in the parliament. I don't know where is the big deal, because they're the one who told him to appear in the parliament to summon how the DP security was being withdrawn, and now it's a big deal now. What? What?
Can I respond, Wekesa, please? If you don't mind, 1 minute or 30 seconds.
No, for the first submission, they are not responding. That's why everybody, we are just leaving it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, the initial
So,
submission, we want everybody just to make their point.
So, Wekesa is like this now. Like someone makes his own. Like let's say, for example, they were saying that they are hustlers versus dynasty before. Now you see this narrative is coming now to say now we are not the hustler. We didn't mean that we are hustlers, that we don't have something. We meant that we are hustlers, but we are in another way round. We are dynasties, but we are hustlers. We are hustlers and dynasties. So we want to make the hustler narrative that anyone in Kenya can become a hustler, can work hard so that can become. But you are not speaking about like we don't have anything. You see, that's like mixing two things at a time, because in the other side time you say I am the hustler, I'm fighting for the hustlers, and in another statement you say no, I didn't mean that I'm the hustler, that I don't have anything. I have something, but I just want to tell you that those something that I have, I worked hard to get them. So what does that mean in Kenya? Like, what is that? Is that a serious, like, is this the serious person that we are going to look step forward to say, like, you are saying this today, tomorrow you are changing to this, tomorrow you are saying this, you are saying now, we thank God now you are speaking about now how the dynasties, now I'm the dynasties, but I want to improve the hustlers. That's very wrong, Wekesa. That's what I can say tonight, and I'm very sad tonight.
Okay, sorry for the sadness. Bear with us. Hii ni Kenya yetu. Okay, the next person is Ayaga Ikimba. I think I skipped you because of the rearrangement, but you can proceed.
My brother Ayaga, how have you been, bro?
I'm good. Ayaga came when I was here.
Long time one.
You have been going off and on Arab Salim, so don't say you have been here.
Wekesa, but that was the first one. What happens?
Yes, it was a Mala to speak.
You know, I'm using my list of rearrangement here, and the problem is people have been dropping off. That's why the list has been rearranged.
Came in fast.
I have
it was only me and Wekesa. Okay.
Wekesa, give Mala. Give Mala.
Okay, you. Mala ongea, usiseme nimekumbuka. I know my people
Ayaga,
from
if that is the new you, then I love it.
I know my people
Wekesa,
from TT nikimuruka atasema nimewa sideline.
You are not fair.
Yes, proceed, my brother.
Yes, I've been talking about 2022. And I think Matiangi was talking about 2022. In the parliamentary, when he was being questioned, I think the guy was relevant. And he went on to disclose the properties of the deputy president. It is very historic. I think I want to congratulate Matiangi for doing that, because he has now opened up a very sensitive issue, which we want to discuss as Kenyans, about historical land injustice. We need to talk about the Mois. We need to talk about Kenyatas. Some of us don't own even a piece of land, while some of these leaders, they own 80%. So it's a good discussion. We're heading there. Matiangi has also assisted us to define the word hustler. It is not how the people thought, but I think it came out very strongly. But I want to say that this guy has also assisted us, because the hustler has disowned some of the things this guy was talking about. The 10,000 acres of ADC land. And I think we need to mobilize people now, because we understand it's a free land, about 10,000 acres in somewhere in Laikipia. It does not belong to the hustler. And I think the hustler should go and occupy that piece of land, 10,000 acres. Very historic. If you look at the number of the askaris this guy is talking about, and he's talking about the DP 257 policemen, it's quite a big number. But now we need to open it up. Starting from the Kenyatta Empire, which we understand has 3,700 askaris, still unconfirmed, is still being checked. The Moise family with about 587 askaris, still unconfirmed, it's going to be verified. Raila, 157, not confirmed, to be verified. And even Matiangi, they say he has 67. Somebody, I think as at yesterday, they were saying 62, but the number has gone up to 67. Those are the discussions we want to have as Kenyans. And we want to be fair to everybody. If that is the direction they want us to go. So that is all. That's my submission today. Thank you.
Okay. I'm not sure of the numbers, but let me not ask you a question. Let's proceed to Ayaka now. Ayaka, and then Salim, then Abok.
I think I haven't spoken since I came in.
You'll speak, don't worry. I have a list here, guys.
Who has been skipped? Honorable Sally.
Ayaga, today you are very patient. You can give Honorable Sally.
Na unajua
Thank you very much.
kuongea na korona.
Sawa. Najua unataka waongee kwanza ndio wagonge. Okay, Sally, ongea.
Thank you very much for welcoming me in the panel. Ayaga, thank you. Najua unataka niongee ndio nilime. Unajua hiyo tactics tunajua za waheshimiwa. Unangojea huyu anaongea, akiongea unakuja unachafua. That's what you want to use. But thank you very much. So on the topic of the Ruto, his security being swept away, I think that was not a good idea, because the deputy president is the next person to the president. So he sits in the security meetings. The deputy president should have been informed by the so-called Matiangis, Kibichos, and Mutiambais that they are doing some changes in his security. So Matiangi being summoned by the parliament, it was not to expose the DP president, DP, his business empires. It was to give limelight on how and why they did not inform the deputy about his security being changed from the JSUs to the administration police. That was the reason. But him going there, he had another agenda. I think they discussed with the president, and he said, sasa ni kuenda kulipua. Huyu jamaa kona 257 security officers around him. So what I can say is that even those officers, let's say like the ones at his farm in Eldoret, I think there are about 12 at his farm. Those officers, they are being paid by the deputy himself. I think every officer is being paid 1,000 per day, if I'm not wrong. You can let me say, I think look at the fact about the embassies in Kenya, like the US embassy, Britain embassy. Those, they are regarded by the GSU officers, and they are being paid per day.
Somehow, so are you.
Okay.
Where are you
Is
getting
someone talking?
that information? Where are you getting that information, brother?
I have the information, my friend. So
From where?
the issue the issue of Matiangi being summoned by the parliament was not about deputy president and his business empires. It was just a mere a small task. Tell us why you did not inform the deputy president, because he sits in the security committee, that his security team would have been changed. You could have been given him prior information that, sir, your security, we will have to change from the G company to the administration of police. That was just a small issue. But again, I can say this, madharau wanafanya, lakini we are just, I will say, as a deputy president supporter, we will wait for 2022. We will show them hiyo kifu wanatuonyesha na hiyo madharau watajua wajui. And sisi kama youth, I think if you have gone on social media, there is a video of Eric Omondi saying that it is time for Jimmy Wanjigi, a person mwenye hajulikani baba yake, that it's time for him to occupy the presidency. And he mentioned names like Ruto, Raila Odinga, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka to go home. It's time for youth. In Kenya, we are 67%. Why don't we just even walk on the street and say enough is enough? Like my friend said here, the two boys from Meru who are killed, the Kitengela force, those who are walikuwa na dread, those are youth wenye hawajafika hata 35 years old. Why they have just died like that? And you will hear the post-mortem have been released. But today the officers were in court. Nobody, they said that they don't know, they didn't kill them, that they're requesting for the body to be exhumed. Why? And we have the post-mortem. So I think the security of Kenya is being managed by Matiangi and Kibicho. The deputy president doesn't have a say. His office is not respected. I think someone mic is on. The office of the deputy president is not respected. And that's why the deputy president himself on the show last time he said he would like his deputy president to go through what he has been going through. And even we as his supporters hatupendezwi na vile anafanyiwa. We woke up, I voted for Uhuru and Ruto. I didn't vote for Ruto alone, or I didn't vote for Uhuru alone. I voted for the duos. And the first time they did the work very well. And tukaanza kuimba si uchawi ni maombi, Uhuru tano tena, na tukapiga kura. But even what hurts me, it's my brother, CS Chesa. He was sacked just 1 year after being given the post. And the way that man campaigned for Uhuru in 2017, mpaka karibu gari yake ichomwe. Why? Just campaigning for, because he had trust in the government. But the government, even the Matiangi himself, he was his colleague in a cabinet, going and arresting a Chesa. He could have just called a Chesa, surrender yourself to the police, go and write a statement. But this man is doing his work na kifua yake. Anapigia tu mtu ambaye simu, anamwambia ama DCI Kinoti, enda ushike Chesa, enda ushike sijui nani. Now these people, he has his numbers. Why don't you call them and tell him, like my friend, Mr. Wekesa, if I have your number and there's something that I have to talk to you, why should I not call you and tell you I need to see you, or report to the DCI police station, DCI, go and record a statement? Why should I send my boys to come and humiliate you? Yet you have been a public figure. You are still a public figure. Thank you. That's what I have to submit.
Okay, you are tempting me to ask you a question, but let me reserve it. Next, now we can go to Ayaka and then Abok. Vincent has left, so after Abok, we go to Robert.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. And the panelists. Let me start by saying I will not answer your ask any questions. But I want just to educate you. You know, you will be MCA, God willing, in 2022. And I don't know if this is the basic idea you are heading to at City Hall. You will get it rough because this is the procedure of even ordering a CS to appear at a parliamentary committee. Go and check the procedure. Matiangi did not walk from his office to parliament buildings and start explaining himself. A letter was written by a senate from Nandi called Charargi, ordering a speaker to invite Matiangi. When you are inviting a CS, you must have a questionnaire. These are the grounds that the MP, the CS is coming here to answer. I heard some people like Nelson saying here, we want Matiangi to tell us how many police he has, how many president has, how many are those questions. Those questions did not ask to him. The questions that him as Chararge and his team put down and ordered Matiangi is the same questions that Matiangi answers. Matiangi cannot go there and say, you know, Ayaga is residing in maybe Kitengela. Ayaga has three. This guy has the things he was not asked about. You cannot order CS to go and start peddling or answering things randomly. There is a procedural, there are questionnaires, there are everything in order. And MPs inside that committee also ask direct questions. And those direct questions are answered directly. Yes? The questionnaire one are being tabled. The one is tabled. And the one that are asked there, on that live interview, he answered them there. And all those questions you guys were asking, I never had anybody asking Matiangi, how many security do you have? I never had anyone, even an MP from Rift Valley, asking Matiangi, how many does president has? My friend, Matiangi did this work, and Matiangi is a junior officer. If this guy has a problem with government, he should go to his boss. Asikuje kwetu kama Salim anakuja kwako ati anakuambia ABCD. You will do nothing. You will come here complaining, drink a lot of water like I'm doing here. You go and sleep. You wake up tomorrow with your ego. You go to social media like my friend Ochieng Ochola. You write nonsense. You go, you sleep. Number two.
Wekesa,
The
we have started attacking one another.
Not attacking. The questions.
Why are you mentioning my name?
The reference to the other offices. I want to educate you. You know, Chieng is my brother, so this one is a brother and a brother. That deputy president is different with the vice president. The only difference is only one: how you acquire the office. The vice presidents were appointed directly.
Difference is difference, my friend. The difference is they are different. Yes, you've confirmed that. Why are you again explaining?
I will educate you. You don't know. You posted it. It seems you never read my comment yesterday. Yeah. Now let me show you here. When you are here, the only difference is how these guys are entering that office. Vice president was being appointed.
I thought you thought you were giving presentations first.
Yes, I'm giving my presentation. Deputy president is elected together with the president. That is the only difference. President cannot sack his deputy. While in the other system, president can sack. So this is a second command, and we have one president. One president, if you read Constitution Article 130, Article 130 from A, it says that the president is a 5 general staff. A 5 general staff, which means president cannot be compared. There is no way you can compare president with this deputy. The difference is so huge, it's very big. In fact, number one, president is a military man. Even his security cannot be tabled in parliament. You are a honorable man who will be a MCA, God willing. These two guys are different like day and night. Kuna moja mwanajeshi, moja ni mwanajeshi, na mwanajeshi hakuna siku hata utaona auditor general ana audit even the military budget. Never ever, you will never see that. Moja ni raia. Yes, moja ni raia. You will never see him putting those commander-in-chief uniform unless something happened to president and he got sworn into that office. It will never happen. So the difference between the president and the deputy president is open, clear, and you must put the demarcation where it ends. Yeah. So who should respect who? A raia should respect a 5 general star who can order a nuclear war against another country. That is the guy we are talking about. You cannot discuss the security of the president anywhere on earth, even in US. Has never been, can never happen. This one is being answered because this is a raia who is claiming that the security was scaled down. So if up to 257, the number is scaled down, so how many were they? His side has not told us that he has 500 police officers and that was scaled down to 200, and then we are complaining. You know, there is even nothing that we don't know even their complaint about. Yeah. And now they are bringing issues. Those were the issues we have been waiting for. Let them go to that direction. Let them fight about who own what, who own what. You know, if you steal together, you cannot hold what you have stolen together for long. You will start fighting amongst yourselves. I wish them well as the dynamic duo. Their fight, so be it. Let them fight. But when it comes to the issues of security, president security will never be discussed. You will never see any question in parliament about that. And you must know that president, no matter these guys are being elected together, president is a military and the another guy is a raia like Ayaga. So I can go anywhere and question his security, but I will not do that to any military man, even an Air Force commander. John Menda, I cannot go to question how many security he has. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your contribution, Ayaka. Next is Abok.
Yeah, thank you so much, Wekesa. I don't know whether you're able to hear me very well.
You are loud and clear.
Oh, okay.
Kindly, when I mute you
Okay,
guys, you remain muted. Huh? There are people who are unmuting like Mala.
Yeah, first of all, I want to start by where or what my friend Ayaga has talked about, because I've listened to a lot of discussions here and people are digressing, and they would want to expand this discussion beyond the scope for which the CS was summoned. You know, just like Ayaga said, CS does not just plan to have a meeting with a committee of security, a parliamentary committee. And therefore, when he was summoned, he must have been summoned using a particular letter with certain scopes. In other words, with certain questions of concern. And those were the questions that CS Matiangi was responding to. And I believe the MPs, and especially from DP side, for those who are supporting him, missed a glorious opportunity, even to ask some of the pertinent questions around security of VVIPs. And therefore, I don't want to blame CS Matiangi on anything, because he was just responding to what those members of parliament were asking him. However, that notwithstanding, we should actually expand or try to expand this discussion regarding the protection of VVIPs in the country. Because as it looks today, the allocation will depend on how well you relate with the current government. But is it an issue of policy, or is it an issue of law? Or what laws do we have regulating allocation of security officers to president, to deputy, to members of parliament, to former presidents, to former vice presidents, etc.? I listened to CS, and he actually challenged the MPs to tell him exactly which law requires him to allocate how many security officers to who. So I think the question that we should be, the debate that we should be involving ourselves in, including our MPs, do we have laws that are governing the allocation of security officers to these people who are elected or those who have been in those offices before? I would again say the government will treat you depending on how you relate with it if there are no laws governing your relationship. I've had, again, the issue of the office of the deputy president and the holder of that particular office. Then my question would be tonight, what is the relationship between morality and law? As I was taught somewhere, that sometimes you may become immoral, but you don't break the law. But the society will punish you because you have gone against some of the norms, values, and virtues of that particular society. Now, we have the legal position of the office of the president. And then we have the occupant of the office. As I said again, there is no law regulating how many officers to be allocated to this particular office. And therefore, the number to which this person is going to enjoy is solely dependent on how best he or she relates with the current government. As it is now, all of us know that deputy president does not enjoy that close relationship with his boss. So the discussion that we should actually propagate is, can we have a law that is regulating how many officers and which premises are allowed to be to be secured by public or security officers? When security officers are allocated to areas outside of where they are supposed to be, for example, when you see a police officer in a bank, the bank is required to pay facilitation fee, not salary. I've heard someone saying that these people are being paid by the deputy president. Are they on deputy president's payroll? No. There are 1,000 or 500 shillings are only paid to facilitate them to be in a place which originally or naturally, by virtue of their position, they are not supposed to be. If you talk about private businesses, it is what they are required to pay. The directors or the owners of those companies are supposed to facilitate the police officers to those premises. And that is how it has been. That does not convert them to be their employees, as one of us has alluded to. Now, the question is, what if I'm the president and I own 1,000 businesses? Do we have law regulating this? And my brother, I have 7 brothers, and maybe each of them happen to own 10 businesses. Do we have laws regulating the extent to which my privileges as the president can be extended to family members? As it stands, maybe there are no, or we are enjoying impunity. Now, I want to ask this question, or maybe discuss this. I talked about morality and law. And sometimes I've heard people talking about, not even on this platform, but even else, we have heard people talking about Matiangi should respect the office of the deputy president. Respect is two-way traffic. You attract what you give. They say, from the abundance of the heart, so the heart speaks. And what you speak will only either attract the likes or will cause repulsion in terms of whom your audience is. Now, in that regard, according to the standards maybe of the current government, I never voted for this government, but I enjoy how they relate and how they just do their things which are out of the ordinary, out of this world. We were told that they were God chosen. I wonder if this is how God does his work. But now, let's look at the morality, or the morality of the office holder and the people around him. Let's not talk about even the office of the president. Let's talk about the surrounding people around this person. And how do they speak? How do they even articulate their issues? I think the issue that we should be very, very careful about right now are the utterances of people around the person of the deputy president. I don't want to imagine that if you are the deputy president, or you are the CS, then because your office should be respected, you should just go around misbehaving, expecting people to respect your office, and separate you from that particular office. No. There is a way in which, and someone said it very clearly, someone is behaving unpresidential, and the people around him are also messing him very, very much. I can tell you, if I was the president of the Republic of Kenya and I had such a deputy president, I think even the president is very, very patient with him up to this particular moment. Lastly, I want to disagree with some of us here who are talking about us being youth. I'm speaking on behalf of youth, or we as youth. Ruto is not a youth. Uhuru is not a youth. Raila Odinga is not a youth. And a lot more of these other leaders, like the Oka guys, they are not young people. So when we say that we are majority, are we fronting Jimmy Wanjigi because he is young or because he's not known? Jimmy Wanjigi is known because his father was Maina Wanjigi, a very prominent and a very powerful cabinet minister then in the then government. So he's not a hustler. if we have to go by that narrative. So if we have to go by that narrative of youth, then we have even to start by unlearning the old things, relearning new things, and even preparing our minds to take leadership at our own level. But if we involve ourselves in praising these old folks, they are just the same all over. The last thing that I want to say is about land, which are now people talking about, and the number of security officers that these other people are enjoying. You know, if you are caught stealing, then we were two. Then you say that, you know, hata ule mwingine umeacha ameenda, pia tulikuwa na yeye. Ama for those who are driving, you have overlapped because umeona watu wengine waki-overlap, lakini wewe ndio umeshikwa. So unaambia police officer, unajua sasa unanishika na umeacha wale wanaendelea. Yeah? You are involving yourself in a self-defeating argument. You are, in other words, admitting kwamba ume-overlap ama umeiba. So unanishika kwa sababu nimeiba na ule mwingine hujamshika. When we want to talk about the issue of land, and here it was specifically about Deputy President and what he owns and how the police officers or security officers are deployed to secure some of his properties. So if you want to say that Matiangi pia atuambie, that is another debate altogether. That Raila pia tuambiwe amepewa ngapi. That is also another different point altogether. So if we have to argue objectively and critically, then let's avoid self-defeating statements and let us replace strategy. Let us replace emotions with strategy, and we shall be very, very good. Thank you.
Kenya tukitaka kuchagua president mwenye hana kitu, si tunataka yule president ako na kitu. Na sasa sisi tukiwa wa Kenya tukitaka kuchagua president mwenye hana kitu, si tunataka yule president ako na kitu.
Okay, wa Kenya mnasema nini? Unataka president ako na kitu, si ndio?
Yeah, asla mwenye ako na kitu.
Aya, we are going to Robert, then community. Okay, in that order. Robert and then community.
Okay, sir. Are you able to hear me?
Loud and clear, proceed.
Thank you so much. Today we are talking about Matiangi's response yesterday, right? And the security of the DP. Sorry, I joined you a bit late.
Yes, but you can read down there. It's Matiangi and the DP. You read it down there. It's showing on the.
Yeah, I'm just confirming because, you know, debate changes.
Deputy President William Ruto's security, and DP Ruto is the most protected second in command in the country's history. A report by the Interior Ministry shows that DP Ruto has 257 police officers at his disposal. 74 of these are the elite presidential escort unit who have never been changed since his swearing in. The DP's vast business empire also enjoys massive protection, including his poultry business and 2 hangars at Wilson Airport. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiangi, appearing before the National Assembly Security Committee, submitted that the reorganization of the DP security has been marred by petty propaganda.
It's very surprising that we have Kenyans who are not properly secured. Cattle wrestling in the Rift Valley, theft everywhere. And then you can deploy 257 members, security members, to kuchunga shamba ya kuku, shamba ya samaki. The minister must apologize to Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chair, why that happened? Honestly, he must apologize, leave alone removing or deploying. He must tender an apology to Kenyans that it will not happen again.
There are some counties that are smaller in the country. The smaller counties like Viga, for example, probably don't have the strength of deployment and capacities and assets such as we have deployed to protect the holder of this office. So when people jump up and say, oh, there's downgrade and so on, in quality and operational terms, you'll have to go into an operation room and listen to the director of operations tell you everything about this before you make that kind of conclusion. I want to state here again categorically, for the record, there has not been any downgrade of the security of the deputy president.
Why did the change have to be done? Why now? And given the fact that the service starting orders and even the Act give the GSU the responsibility for State House and state lodges. Unless one is arguing that the state lodges are so much superior to the official residence of the deputy president, then even the question of downgrading can be argued that it was a downgrade.
The deputy president's residence is not a state lodge. It is not a state house. The law is very clear. It's black and white. It's a residence. It's a residence of the deputy president. It's not a state lodge. It's not a state house. There's some things which look or sound politically sensible, but frankly, when you go by the law, they don't.
Robert, I just wanted to give you a background so that you can debate accordingly. Now you can proceed.
Thank you so much for that honor, Brother Wekesa.
That was a refresher course. You will pay for it.
Yeah, I'll buy tea somewhere. Now, back to the debate today. I wouldn't want to comment much on this, but only say these few things. Our security system problem is about the laws that actually regulates it. So if our MPs can be sensible enough to work on the laws that regulate our security system, then we wouldn't be talking of whatever happened to the DP today. And I repeat, I said this sometimes back, that it's not about the person who occupies the office at a given time, but it is about the laws that ensure that any person who occupies that particular position at any given time is accorded the necessary security as per the law. So we need to do so much about our laws that are governing not only the political class, but even the common mwananchi down here. That's what I will say today. Kesa, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Kesa, please, because I want to go somewhere, can I just contribute? Then I go. I will be in the backstage for after some hours, if you allow me.
Okay, briefly, and then we go to community.
Okay, thank you very much. What I wanted to say is only 3 points. First, we as Kenyans, there's somebody as left is, please, the person who is on can mute his microphone so that you can hear me. Thank you. What I wanted to say is, we as youth, there's nothing, I repeat, there's nothing we can make because we always just want to believe in propaganda. Why do I say so? you find a case whereby Matiangi, even if you saw the person who watched all the debate, the way they were talking up to the end, you will even find that Matiangi outweighed the MPs. Even they were confused, they don't know even what to ask. They are just asking what people are saying here. The law is very clear. The law is very clear. Which law is very clear that this Matiangi never used? My friend, my brother Nelson was saying, he stated here clearly that Ruto is sitting in the cabinet meetings, is one of the security, sitting in this security planning. When they are talking about this security thing, is there in person. And he understand, not that he doesn't understand, because I know when they are there, they either use English or Kiswahili. He understand everything. But when something like that, Matiangi said it categorically clearly that before they do it, they always look at so many things. They get information from this, they get information. Maybe it was for the betterment of DP. This change, any country where you go, the presidential escort plus everything, they don't stay with the president for so many days. Why? Because the security is paramount. They have to know, if you stay with one security, he knows everything plus your bedroom. He can do, he's also a human being, he can do anything. So when they change it, it's a norm. It's something that is there for them to change them so that they bring for you another person who is not used to you, who doesn't know anything. That's why, to me, to change is not a problem. Secondly, Matiangi, I don't want to talk because me, I'm not a police. I've never attended any police thing. But the way Matiangi explained, the people who are taken to him, they are specially trained for that thing. You cannot be given anybody. But because with us in this our country, we look for things. Look, for example, yesterday they talked about that one is now finished. Now they want everybody, each and everybody, like the president. If the president come, you want to ask the president, how many security do you have? And is the commander in chief. The commander in chief is the person who have all the military, all the GSU. He can even take the barrack and go and put in his house. And here we want to just dilly-dally, asking how many security do you have? How many do you have? Matiangi father explained that you can ask for extra at your own cost, at your own point. I worked in Kenya. There was a place I was working. We were ordering police. We were going to take police because we needed them. We were not in government. We were not doing anything, but they had to take. We had to take the security, and we had to pay them. We had to bring them. So the only problem I have with our Kenyan brothers and sisters, this thing of the law is very clear. The law is very clear. Yesterday, Matiangi asked the MPs, those who are seated there, that you people are saying the law is very clear. Can you come up with that law telling me that DP is supposed to have this number of security? With them, when they go, the only thing they know is to increase their salary. That one they increase within no minute. When we come to this platform where we always talk, people always just blame DP, they blame president, they blame Raila, they blame who. These people are not even in the parliament. They don't make laws. What we can discuss is this member of parliament who are making noise now that DP was the security was degraded, they were removed. They were. Have they ever come with a law? That is my question. Saying that the president, the deputy, when you are given this, they gave you Bernard as your personal security. Bernard have to stay there until you leave the office. When they give you security, have they come with any law saying that you must have even 1,000 security people? They have never done that work. You look at it yesterday, they were like confused elements. They asked, the chairman was even shutting some people down because somebody just want to make noise, because Tanga they like to make noise. Mm. My brothers and sisters, what I would like us to do is, when we are discussing things, let us not believe on propaganda. Let us talk something that is tangible, that is realistic, like a security. See, for example, they invited Matiangi. Here, I heard some people asking that why Matiangi never talk of other people. Matiangi was specifically answering the questions he was being asked to answer. He was not going to there to tell everybody, each and everybody is security. Hmm? They were discussing about the deputy. They are to discuss the security of the deputy. That's why it came. I don't see where you people or everybody can say Matiangi never did this, because Matiangi was specifically telling people, you people, you shout, you talk that is security is not there. Even the poultry farm is being guarded. The ranches is being guarded. The family is being guarded. No problem. Even the president can have 1,000, because once you are the president, once you are the president, you even your chicken, nobody can steal. The security is there. Which is this security? Is these people they are collecting from different forces to go and look? But before they give out any security, they have to know you are trained, you know how to use all the gadgets, you know how to, you are a sharpshooter, you are these things. That one, nobody's asking whether these APs, they were taken there. Even Kangogo, if I can deviate a little bit, Kangogo, who was just a police in prison, was a very sharpshooter, because she was trained for that. You can be a prison police, but you are trained in a way you can do something that is better than even that GSU. You've seen in Bomet, if Bomet, they can come and kill a GSU man, they kill 4 GSU people, just bandit can kill them. And that one nobody is talking about. People are talking about DP security. Have we come to our senses and asked, is these people we are electing more? They are more good animals more than we, because even DP he could not have even complained, because at least he got some security. But the people in Bomet next to his home are dying of bandits. So, my brothers, what I want to say, when we are discussing here, I heard the man in yellow. He was talking, he was telling us how DP was downgraded. Please, you where you are, you run away from Kenya because even the security, even if you are driving, you don't have a security. Security is what governs everybody. Normally, what is very important is just this presidential escort. Now, how you are being guarded at home, it depends. But the change, the intelligence, the news people, they will give that these people have stayed here. They have known Ruto up to his bedroom. We are not now certain with them. They have known where everything is being done. They have known this. That's why it is being changed each and every day. But the people who are asking that, why now? Why now? Why now? If the NIS have already told the Mtempai that maybe this is a threat to deputy president, and you leave them there, who will be blamed? Is you, General Inspector General. So you have to change them each and every day. Thank you.
Ya kwamba Matiangi anaweza enda katika kamati ya bunge kufungua chapter ambayo inakuanga very sensitive, chapter ya mashamba. Na kama wanataka tuanze siasa za kuongea mashamba, sisi ndio tunajua pahali kugonga asubuhi na mchana na jioni. Kwa sababu tuko na maswali mengi sana tungetaka kuuliza ya mashamba. Na tunajua hiyo chapter tukianza kuongea, kuna watu watarudi mashimoni kujificha. Kwa hivyo tunauliza, kama tunaongea siasa, tafadhali tusiulize maneno ya mashamba. Kwa sababu hustlers ndio wengi, hustler ndio wako na maswali mengi, na tukiuliza maswali hawana majibu. Na mahustlers wenyewe hata wao hawana mashamba. Mimi pahali nimetoka Kiambu, wale ambao wanaitwa hustler, hao walikuwa watoto wa Maumau. Hawana hata pahali mtu anaweza zikwa kama kaburi. Kwa hivyo tukianza kuongea maneno ya mashamba, mimi wa Mushomba, mtoto wa hustler, baba yangu hakuwa na shamba. Mimi sina shamba, nimenunua ile nimefanya na kazi yangu, sio ile nimepewa na baba yangu. I am ready to ask questions. So stop taking us to that direction, because we are ready to ask you questions. And we are going to ask you very hard questions.
Okay, mambo ya mashamba, we are going to ask hard questions. Now, because I know community ancestor is the one coming, the first question I want to ask you, ancestor. I saw some people maybe commenting on Twitter, social, on Facebook, about people carding ancestors. So I saw the ancestor, and then I remembered that even we have security carding our ancestors. Have we started competing with our ancestors? Okay, come in.
Yeah, in fact, when you are alive, you cannot compete with ancestors. But when you go to your 6 feet, that is when you will be able to start competing with the ancestors. Now, in fact, this lady who has gone, Wamchumba, I want to tell the lady that, in fact, the issue of Mashamba, Baba used it, but against the Uru family. It did not go far. So the issue of Mashamba, atulie kwanza, because in fact, tuko na even the TGRC report, the Ndungu report haijaishughulikiwa, so hiyo wacha tu itulie hivyo. Now I want to come to the topic of today. Na ndugu Mugambi, na kuona umefika, karibu sana. The topic of today inasema kuhusu information shared by internal security CS Fred Matiangi has generated a lot of heat. Na kweli, it has really generated a lot of heat, reason being imegonga ndipo. Now, if Sarah was to be here, Sarah from Baringo, in fact, I could have really told her that William Samoei Ruto, whom he purports to support, look how, in fact, he has done injustice to them, because next from Baringo to Sugoi is maybe a walking distance. whereby she can even go and see those six GSU officers who are guarding the 200,000 chicken for deputy president, whereas bandits every now and then raid Baringo to steal cattle. Sometimes these bandits, in fact, they kill.
My friend, talk about Uhuru Kenyatta with 700 askaris. Also, be fair.
Mala, I want to tell you that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, leave alone all these askaris from Air Force, come to Land Force, come to Navy, even security guards. Yeah, they are all under the president. So the president himself, if we start talking about him having security agencies taking care of him, in fact, hatutakuwa tumemfanyia haki, because all these
you can talk about Moi. Talk about Moi. Talk about Moi with 507. Talk about Matiangi with 67.
Now to Mala, I want, because you are now underground, I want to tell you like this. The issue here is about deputy president. You know, this is the reason to why, in fact, you people who support the deputy president, you rush to things, and when they backfire, you come yapping and crying here just for nothing. You are the ones, in fact, who has listed this hit. Reason being, when Matiangi made some changes in regarding to the security officers who got his residence. What you did? You started crying, "Oh, deputy president! The deputy president's security has been withdrawn." But Matiangi, yesterday, he told the whole world that the security operative who guards the deputy president residence, that is Karen, were not withdrawn. What was done is just only slight changes. But you went as far as going to Eldoret, mobilizing young men, and then through Oscar Sudi, the likes of Kostanyi, you started throwing very bad vibes against Matiangi. Now Matiangi, when he came,
just
he shut
Matiangi
your
cheated
mouth.
us. Ruto does not own ABC farm, and 6 askaris are.
Yeah, I was saying that when you started throwing bad vibes to Matiangi came to respond, and what Matiangi came to respond at was the questions which you raised to him on a paper. Now, this is what Matiangi told you, that he said he did not withdraw the DP's security, but what he did, he made some changes. That is, he took GSU and he replaced with the APs. Then the other thing is that about a lifestyle audit, this was just only a coincidence. Ilikuwa yani kama kisadfa kuwa William Samoei Ruto, maybe when he was every now and then he has been asked to declare his wealth. but even through when he was being interviewed by BBC, he just dodged that question about a lifestyle audit. But now, when Matiangi was responding that every morning when when I and Kipicho and other security operative, when we deploy, these are the properties which we send our security operative to man, and then he listed. But now, in fact, William Samoei Ruto has come out to cry that it was a security audit. That one was not a security audit, because if it was a security audit, there was sensitive. There are sensitive properties which Matiangi did not mention. He said, let me just mention but a few. He mentioned 10. And then William Samoei Ruto today, he has come out saying that even it did not talk about Safaricom shares and what have you. So my brothers and my sisters, this is the fire which you started. And if you start any fire, be ready to for firefighters to come and extinguish that fire through using different tools. So the tool which Matiangi used, in fact, I support it, and I want to confirm to the whole world from today, because I've come now to learn that this deputy president, in fact, is not an hustler as he purport. He's a rich man, whereby he is just only hiding in the skin of a peasant person, but truly the guy has got material things. That is why, in fact, he has 257 security operative who guard him, whereas me, Harun, I don't have even as a watchman, even a security guard. So I rest my case as I wait for Mala and others to raise
Okay. Mala, can you respond? I see you have been impatient. Now you're given time to respond. I just wanted to
thank you so
hear
much.
what he's saying so that you can respond instead of interfering.
Thank you so much. I think the gentleman was contributing to me.
What's up, Mala? Okay.
Something wrong with my mic. Something wrong with my mic.
Yeah, you have muted yourself. Proceed. We can't hear you. Okay, let's do this. Adam ametoka. So we go to Bernard.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ekesa, and the rest of the panelists. I'm happy to be here again, and I'm enjoying the debate as people give different views. I have said on this platform, time without number, that the greatest enemy of the DP is himself. He doesn't have external enemies like he has internal enemies. The issue of change of security was a process which is very normal which would not have enlisted whatever it enlisted. In fact, after the 24 hours, the dust had settled and everything was back to normal. He was himself talking of he's even ready to be taken care of by G4S. And then on the other hand, his foot soldiers take upon themselves, or they were given instruction to begin to intimidate the CS and summon him to parliament to come and give reasons why he changed the security. And so the CS came and delivered the package they asked for. So I don't know what is the problem here. DP and his team need to make up their mind. Either they want the leadership of this nation on the platform of truth, or they want it on the platform of lies. But from the look of things, their lies have been uncovered. Now they need to get back to the drawing board and come out and say, we begin by repenting. Forgive us. We lied to you. We are not hustlers. We lied to you. We are not, we are the dynasties, although we told you we were not. Then from there, we can now have a discussion and see as Kenyans, where do we begin to forgive? And after forgiveness, do we still let you go for the high seat or not? But as matters stand right now, the road is becoming slippery with every passing day. I really salute the CS Matiangi for the boldness and the courage to speak, as he has always not disappointed in terms of being vast in giving answers to questions posed to him. And going forward, people need to look again before they go to begin to try to intimidate people and calling people in authority names just to silence them. The DP and his team need to settle down and find a roadmap on what they really want and how to get there. Intimidation is not going to work. Heckling is not going to work. Shouting is not going to work. They just have to get back and accept that whatever roadmap they had drawn is not working. They should accept and begin to deal with Kenyans as mature people who know what they want, not to play on the emotions of Kenyans and on the ignorance of Kenyans. So it doesn't matter how you respond to Matiangi's responses to the questions. Before you begin to castigate the Matiangi's answers, first of all, find out where did the questions come from, who framed the questions. Then we can now begin to find out, did Matiangi respond to the questions the way the questions were posed, or he changed the question and answered his own questions? If he answered his own questions, then he can carry the blame. But if he answered the questions you brought, carry the answer back home and say, this exam was powerful. Our student passed with flying colors. He gave us even more than what we asked. And at least now we have the whole picture of what we've been guessing our way forward. So I want us to remain sober even as we continue with the debate, understanding that this is Kenya and Kenya belongs to all of us, the 44 plus communities in this nation. And not one individual has more shares in this country than even the child that was born last night. We are all Kenyans. We have equal shares as far as our belonging to this country is concerned. And so each and every Kenyan's welfare must be guaranteed before one individual gets what they are claiming to be their own. So before beginning to run around because of changes in the security, where is the security of the people in the slums? Where is the security of the people in the interior, in the northeastern, in the West Pokot, in Marakwet? Well, where is their security? Who takes care of their security? So as much as we honor people in high office and respect the high office that they hold, let us not get too selfish and too wrapped up in ourselves that we think Kenya revolves around us. And so let the rest of Kenyans go to hell, and us must get our way, or we will do this or do that. As I conclude, the politics of threats are not going to work anymore. People are now past being threatened. So if you really have an agenda and you want to lead this nation, come with a clear-cut conviction, a clear-cut, critical, thought-out solution to our problems, and a roadmap that leads us to a better future than where we are. If we don't see those three, we will not follow you. And even if you carry us, we refuse to be carried. I rest my case.
Okay, as you rest your case, comment on this one. Was Matiangi being rewarded after dropping a bombshell in Parliament? Comment on that photo.
Haya ni ya dunia na yataisha tu.
I've not seen the photo, but he was being awarded with what?
I saw a presidential candidate called Mugiza Kitui tweet that could it be a reward? And then after doing a good job in Parliament, he has now been rewarded with a trip.
No, I think Kenyans, we are becoming too petty and too you know, like I've said on this platform over and over, the government does not work by accident. There is nothing that goes on in the government that is an accident. Even if there is a fire outbreak, the government will respond according to the laid down system of responding to that particular crisis. So we shouldn't turn the government operation system into a marketplace something that you just woke up today and went to Marigiti and you dropped buying the pawpaw and began to buy mangoes. The government does not do anything accidentally. So the trip by Matiangi wasn't an accident, as people may want to paint. And I really want to, people that are in high office, like Mhisa, these are learned, exposed people. They shouldn't capitalize on people's ignorance and begin to drag people into petty politics of pushing an agenda that they know doesn't exist. Let's mature up and accept. If we get it, we got it, let's be rewarded. If we missed it, let's accept we missed it. But all this twisting of things, trying to make something that you know happens. He was a trade minister, he was a cabinet minister, and he knows no minister leaves the country to another country by accident. No action is taken by the government by accident. Everything is pre-arranged and then acted out according to laid down rules. So I don't think it had anything to do with what happened in the parliament.
You know, Honorable Tekla was asking about people are stressed and followers are getting stressed. Well, followers get stressed because their leaders stress them. So simple as that. Because the followers, you know, get stressed because their leaders stress them. Because you wake up in the morning and what you're drumming to people is things like this, basically lying to people. You know, if you wake up every day, your business is to lie to people, tell them things that do not exist. You know, lie every day, and you have seen that. You are all here. You have seen that in this country, where you know you can almost conclude that some people's career is about lying. You know, they will never tell anything truthful. You wake up in the morning and misinterpret things and talk about things that have not happened anywhere. Oh, we are being finished. That's why I said the politics of sympathy addiction. You know, everything is about sympathy. You know, sympathize with me. I'm dying. I'm being finished. The government is switching off the sun and the moon and so on. You know, if you live that way, then you stress your followers. The stress of your followers is coming from the stress of the leaders. If leaders were honest with people, addressed issues honestly, and are dealt with matter, why would followers be stressed? Followers are stressed because of their leaders. That is my view, and that's what I would tell Honorable Tekla, that let people address the issues in a dispassionate manner, in a very clear and objective manner, and there will be no issue about it.
Who can address this issue of sympathy addiction?
Let me talk.
You wait first. Wait first. This Adams. Adams amengojea sana. Adams, is your mic on?
Network.
I think he has issues with the network. Okay. Kindly wait. We have Mugambi and Ndemba. We go to Mugambi and then Ndemba.
Okay, thank you so much, Bwana Wekesa. I hope I'm audible enough to everyone. Okay.
You are okay. Proceed.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me put my small contribution on the topic that is running down the screen about what the Interior CS said and the expected reaction from the Deputy President and what has transpired since then. To begin with, we need to know that Matiangi did not take himself to the Parliament. He was summoned by the Parliament, and his summon to the Parliament was not necessitated by the President or any other person in the authority apart from the Deputy President's supporters, who are members of Parliament and members of the Senate. As we expect in any summon, when you are summoned, you go prepared for any eventuality. And that is what the CS did. He went to the Parliament, to the committee, the chambers, prepared with this, with all the people, the top people in his ministry, both in service and the civilian. When he came, I think most of the people who had summoned him, they thought, as Matiangi has been evading the summons, he will evade this summon, and in case their goal was achieved, they would have run the narrative that, you see, we saw our deputy security was withdrawn. We summoned the right office. They failed to answer the summons. So they would have run that narrative so much. To their shock, Matiangi came. And when Matiangi came, the elephant in the room was about the withdrawal of the security for the DP. Note this, the people who were propagating the information or the propaganda, they were saying the security has been withdrawn from the office of the Deputy President. So the first thing that Matiangi answered was, the security was never withdrawn. It was just a routine reshuffle or routine change in the security operations in the country. That is number one. Number two, people were saying that the security of the Deputy President is exposed because his security has been downgraded. Another thing to note, the security of the Deputy President was never downgraded. the cabinet secretary and his people went with even pictures to explain to these MPs like Sunday who cannot understand things written unless drawn to him with the circles of how the security of the deputy president operates. In the security of a VVIP like a president, we have got three cordons or three categories. The first category is the inner circle, which was never touched. And this inner circle is composed of 74 highly trained GSU REC squad, which are trained both locally and internationally, meaning the DP as a person was never exposed in any way. The second tier is the GSU still and the people who guard the DP in his motion or anytime you want to move around. They are people who go with him. That tire was never touched. Then we go to the outer tire of the securing of the premises for the deputy president. That is the tire was that which was touched, and not that the wrong people were put in the office in place of the GSU. If any of us has time to go and see how these security officers are trained, the GSU and the administration police officers, their training manual is actually almost the same because their responsibilities and their duties, they go hand in hand. It is in the GSU training school where we will get the anti-stock theft. The same case with the APs. It is in the GSU that you are going to get the VIP protections. The same case as the APs. It is in the GSU that we are going to get the protection of the government premises, state house and state lodge, the same case as the AP. The issue is when you see what people were trying to parade around the social media, they were saying that the GSU are mandated to gun the president and the deputy president together with their premises or where they stay, forgetting that in the same article, it is so specific about the president, the deputy, state houses, and state lodges. Meaning, even yesterday when the MP is trying to ask Matiangi about the residence of the deputy president, it is neither is it defined as a state house or a state lodge, meaning that it qualifies itself from being guarded by the GSU. Now, the person will ask me, or will ask us here, why now? In any new dispensation, things come and things change. It is in their term that we have had the GSU, the deputy president and the president elected under the same ticket. So with the assumption, we assume that the people who gave them the security initially, they had misconceived the deputy president residence to be either the state house and the state lodge. But when you see the state house and the state lodge, they are mandated for the president and not for the deputy president. So this gives us one option that the deputy president's residence is a government entity which should be guarded by either the GSU or the AP. But now APs are meant to guard all the government establishments, including the chief's camp and the deputy president's residence. So that thing gives a clear picture that the GSU being at the deputy president's establishment was a wrong approach. So the right people to guard his premise are the APs. But the people to guard the deputy president are the commandos who are the REC squad, and the GSU should also be with him as he runs around the country. Now, when Matiangi went to answer the summon, as a wise person, you should always be prepared for any eventuality. Remember, the government had been painted as an entity that has exposed the deputy president. And for Matiangi to mention all the properties that are guarded by the security of Kenya on behalf of the deputy president was to show Kenyans that the deputy president is secured, not only him, but also his premises and his properties and his investments. That's why they touched from his homes, the two homes, his investment where he has the chicken, the gas station in Kitengela, which is now disowning, the hotels that he has, they all have the protection of the government of Kenya, together with the hangar at the Wilson Airport, which he owns, is still secured by the AP, so that our good deputy president may not be exposed in any way. Because there's no way we shall risk to guard the deputy president at his home totally and expose the areas that he goes to visit or sleep. We need to put the right people there because we love the life of our deputy president and we want him alive to see Kenya going forward. About the lifestyle audit, I think anyone who is familiar with how the civil servants and how the government employees get audited on their wealth, there's something that is called wealth declaration form. That is a form that is filled by every member of parliament, that should be filled by the deputy president and any other civil servant every year to declare their wealth. So there's no way a separate entity like Matiangi can give the wealth, the lifestyle audit for the deputy president. It is he himself who should take the form, fill it with finality and sincerity, and deposit it to the right authorities. So this fallacy of a lifestyle audit, it is just a narrative that they want to run. Matiangi told us that these people, they have that urge of sympathy, and this is one of the stepping stones that they have seen they want to run with, that the lifestyle audit have been done. If at all the Matiangi effort was to do the lifestyle audit, very many things are known for the deputy president. All his deals are known, all his investments are known. Matiangi could have exposed everything, but he didn't expose all those things. The only things that he mentioned but not exposed are the entities that are guarded by the government of Kenya through the police, which we pay through our taxpayer. Now, I have seen you share some two clips about Wamushomba, the woman rep in Nyeri, and I think one more person about the land issue. If you listen to what Matiangi did, maybe he mentioned the acreage that is being guarded by the police. And what led to the mentioning of this land is their question about the deputy president being exposed. So he was trying to put it like, even if the deputy president owns 20,000 acreage of land, the government has secured it, and he is secure even if he goes there without our knowledge. So he had no intention to expose him about the land. I know people of Kenya, they are so cunning, they can take everything and run with it. But we are prepared to counter their narrative. The good thing, these things are happening 10 months to the elections. We Kenyans, we are so good in forgetting. We Kenyans, we are so good in quelling up things. Before then, we will have also punctured this narrative about the land. There's no way you are going to tell us that the first family grabbed the land of Kenya, the land of Mau Mau. Whoever has time can go and read, how did Jomo Kenyatta get that land? Was it communal or ancestral? Have we had any community raise a complaint that this is our land? If they have, we have the right channel. Have they followed the right channel to get back their land? If at all they have not got, or if they have not, we have not witnessed such kind of reaction for the land that they own, we should say that that is their land until and when someone comes to challenge that is not their land. But let us not politicize this matter of land, because if we try to politicize it, the same group of DP, it is going to be eaten by the same issues. Remember in 2010, the same deputy president in national television, he was asked the same question about the land when he was seriously campaigning against the new constitution, saying that the constitution was coming to own the land that the Kenyans owned. And he was asked, do you have any land in Kenya? What is the size of your land? He said that my land is 100 acres. I think so, if I'm not wrong. Then, after a year later, the same 100 acreage of land that he was purporting he bought was he was ordered to give it back to Muteshi. Meaning, if we go by history and through his own declaration, this man, as at 2011, he had 0 acreage of land in Kenya. Right now, he has almost 20,000 acres of land. So according to the recent history, if they want us to go that way, he is the one to suffer more than Uhuru and Mama Ngina. We can say, yes, if Kenyatta stole the land, that was Kenyatta, he is dead, and we can't talk about the dead people. Let us follow the right channel to give the people their land. But now this person by the name the DP, with your own confession, you said that you want 100 acres of land. The court has told you to give this land back to the owner. So where has the 18,000 acres come from? So if they want us to run with that being, we shall run with it. And if we run with it, we'll have so many casualties. And if we have so many casualties, they'll have to blame themselves, their image, and their mirrors when they look at themselves. Thank you. Unless if you have any question.
Mwisho wakasema ati hii makao haipaswi kulinda na GSU, inatakana AP. Hiyo ni mambo mzuri. What is the problem? Sio ni sawa? So wakalete AP, sasa AP wanaendelea na kazi. Lakini sasa mimi sijakuwa deputy president last week. Si mimi nilikuwa deputy president from 2013. Na nimekuwa hapa from 2013. Sasa walichelewa wapi kujua ya kwamba sio GSU ni AP. Lakini mzuri pia wamerekebisha. Sasa tuendelee. Sina hiyo. Na tena katika hiyo harakati yote
wacha niongee.
Sasa wameamua sio tena mambo ya security. Sasa wameenda kutangaza, wameenda kunisaidia kufanya lifestyle audit. Na wamenisaidia. Kazi kubwa watu walikuwa wananiuliza, sasa wamefanya wenyewe. Bila hata ya sheria wamenifanyia. Unajua nilikuwa nimefanyiwa lifestyle audit na magazeti. Wakaandika Ruto ako na mali hii, Ruto ako na hii, Ruto ako na hii. Nae hawa watu wa OP wamekuja juzi wakaimprove ile ilikuwa imefanywa na magazeti. Sasa wameondoa vitu vingine hata haikuwa yangu, walikuwa wamesema 680, wameondoa hiyo kwa sababu ilikuwa uongo. Wameondoa Boulevard, ilikuwa uongo. Lakini sasa waliongeza ingine kidogo ambaye sio yangu, pengine nitawasaidia. Kwa sababu kwa properties 10 waliandika about 70% ni true, ile ingine si ukweli. Kama ile wanisema ati mimi niko na 10,000 acres huko ya ADC, mimi sina. So hiyo waende watoe. Alafu tena niwasaidie kidogo. Walisahau pia kuweka shares. Niko na shares 400,000 ya Safaricom. Wangeweka hiyo. Na pia wangeweka kama kuna askari pia wanalinda huko. Wangeongeza hiyo. Na tena walisahau kusema ile biashara yangu ya kuku niliona wanaandika acreage. Sasa pale wangeandika iko kuku 1,200. Na wangesema huyu mtu anauza mayai 150,000 every day, shilingi 1.5 million. Hiyo wangeweka namna hiyo. Alafu wangemalizia waende wa bank wajue wako na pesa ngapi na iko loan kiasi gani. Sasa ndio wangemalizia hapo kwa hiyo lifestyle audit. Si namna hiyo ndio kama mzuri. So wamejaribu, si mbaya, wamejaribu kufanya hiyo lifestyle audit ya William Ruto. So sasa wangeendelea sasa na hiyo lifestyle audit, tuende kwa mwingine, iko namna hiyo, ndio maneno ikae sawa sawa. What is the problem? Tunaelewana?
Ndemba, tunaelewana Ndemba.
Hello.
Ndemba, tunaelewana. From Demba, and then we go to George.
Asante Wekesa, tunaelewana. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. Tunaelewana. Indeed, you can. What I pick from the DP's speech at that point is a person who is really struggling so hard to deflect the pressure, and it was indeed expected that he will come out trying to really justify what is happening now. I want to ask you, Ekasa, if you are caught stealing some maize somewhere, will you use Bernard as that way? Bernard was also stealing here, so he also needs to be caught. Will that stand as a defense? Clearly, what you're getting from the DP sympathizers and those who stood out to try and speak in response to Matiangi is a case of, okay, fine, you've caught us, so there's also so and so. So they are not actually saying that this is not true, but they're saying, okay, fine, let's also move to a certain person. Now, if you notice the way the events followed each other, as soon as there was a change of guard, immediately there was a complaint from the DP. But the next day he hit a hasty retreat on that line, but his troops did not get the memo. The reason he hit a serious retreat was because he knew that this was going to come. I mean, if people are called, if they called the Matiangi, this was going to come, and it was going to paint him as someone who is not what he has been pretending to be. You know, because he's carried this this sense of you know, I'm clean from all these other people. You know, I identify with you guys more. But now it is surprising to everyone that indeed this is not the person that we have been thinking he is. So the words used by Matiangi clearly point out into the kind of politics and the kind of a people that we want to be. He says that we have sympathy addicts, you know, trying to paint themselves as a person who is being targeted. But I want to tell you the same words that Ruto is using, he has used them before. Go back to 2007, 2008, the Ruto at that time used the same words. For him, he's always come out painting himself as being a target in view of you know, blocking or taking advantage of the ignorance of the people who don't want to think beyond the facts that are available. And slowly he's been unmasked as not the person that he has painted himself to be. And I see the few days to come, he's going to really have his troops stepping out there to try and deflect the injury. They're going to try and claim that everybody else has also stolen, as if using another thief to explain your thievery. that I have this many, even so and so should be looked at. What we want is not that there are others who have done it, is you have done it. They have requested for that, it has been served. On Wamushomba's claim that this topic is sensitive, yes, it is sensitive, but are there areas that should not be spoken? If actually you played Ishungwa's clip, he was even saying that you guys don't dare us. How do you say not to be dared? What is it that you're not ready to talk about? Are there things you're ready to talk about and others that you're not willing to talk about when push comes to shove? I think as we move forward, this is now what we are likely to see in coming days. I'm sure there'll be many church attendances. There'll be many other places that his troops will come, swinging, trying to get out of that. I would want to see, I'm yet to see a defense that is not using some other people, like for example, saying that even Uhuru stole, even so and so has this, even so and so. It's already being painted that if you want to run away, you're not necessarily a hustler you claim to be. So right now, the new tag has been, we didn't say he is poor. We said that yes, he is wealthy, but he is ours. So the chief hustler thing has been already busted, So it is not, it's flying short. I'm yet to see even one photo where Ruto is taken selling chicken. And if he's a chicken seller and he's selling eggs, then he must be the only egg seller in the whole of Kenya. And why hasn't he been able, assuming he's selling, I want to just ask, okay, fine, you're selling this many eggs that are giving you this much money. Why do you want Mama Mboga to keep selling boga? Why don't you give them this market of eggs so that they also make that million that you're making? There's a lot that doesn't add up. As much as it was not lifestyle audit, and I think Matiangi was clear about that, is that he doesn't want the issue of security to be politicized. If he was not consulted when he was being given the ones that are guarding it, why would there be a need for him to be consulted right now when they're being changed? He's the same one who is talking about independent institutions. That means we should start by, first of all, respecting the IG's command that changes those security details. So what kind of practice do you want to create moving forward? I think, to my submission, if it goes on like this, then there's a lot that is going to be fixed. We are likely to see so many people crying, imagining that they're being targeted. But again, a lot of issues, propaganda that has been flying around is starting to be unmasked slowly by slowly. I don't know how long that will take, but we are going to see several dramas. I don't know if there are any funerals that are going to be attended or church service coming this weekend. You're likely to see a lot more than what we have seen right now. Thank you, Ekas.
Okay, comment on that. Has the narrative changed? Let me remove that banner, you see?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You see, that's what I was saying. That
you don't have to be poor to be a hustler. If someone is wealthy like me, can you lead a war between the wealthy and the poor? Won't I get hurt? So their I is standing for me, the rich person, not me, the poor. So is the narrative changing?
Definitely. Definitely, you see from that statement, the key place to note is if someone is wealthy like me, wealthy like me, that statement has never been as bold as it has come out right now. You see, the question and the narrative that has always been was that the poor us, sisi watu wa kawaida, the chief hustler. But today it is coming the wealthy like me. So wealthy like me is to be understated. Do you want still to say that you identify with the hustlers? Let's say, fine, they are all wealthy people, so the ground is leveled. So we are choosing one wealthy man vis-a-vis other wealthy men. So there's nothing like the poor person in this case, which has been painted for a long while. And I think, as you're saying, slowly but surely, the narrative is beginning to change. And let me note this: the UDA Tangatanga guys have been taken into defense. You see, so they don't know what is going to come, so they have to keep defending themselves, which I think is a very tough place to be in, since from the last 4 years they have been on the attack. They have been always coming in and attacking, but right now they have been taken back to defending. Every other podium they take up, they're defending. It's a very tough place to be at, I can imagine.
Okay, George.
Yes.
Thank you for being patient. You can now proceed.
Yeah, I'm always patient. Habari zenu, wale wako asubuhi, good morning, good afternoon, good night. I want to start by saying, maybe to clarify on the wealth declaration forms that Mugambi said. The wealth declaration form, you fill it on your own violation, and people feel it differently. It does not necessarily reflect what you have, but you're given that opportunity to declare what you have. Some people will declare what they have and leave out others so that they cannot be known that they have this and that, because it can be questioned. Why do you own this much, so much, and yet your salary is this much? So some people omit what they have, or some people, what they put in their wife and children's name, they don't put it in that form. And there are some people who want to feel that nisionekane sina, so they feel things that they do not have. So actually what I want to say is that form does not actually reflect what you own. It's only given to you under your own violation. You put what you think you have. But it cannot be said that we can know Ruto's property by what he filled on those forms. No, that is not correct. Secondly, I'd like to say that security is complex. It's secret, just like the name security and secret, they're almost right. Most people don't know about security. People in Ruto's side, they were saying that, like Ruto himself is saying, they are giving him a life audit. No, it is not that way. Security is given to a place or to a person according to threats or according to the valuation of the things that are in that house. If you walk around, if you go to, let's say, like Babadogo, you'll hardly see a fence in any house, because what is inside, it may not be all that much valuable. But if you go to Runda and Lavington, because they have so many valuable things in that house, the security on those houses, you can see the fences, the CCTVs and all these things. So security should be reminiscent of what you're actually guarding. Now, Ruto is a vice president, yes, so he must have enough security. But I think he's so much ambitious in politics. He's also so much ambitious in expanding his wealth. And that's why the security that he's been given has been growing over time. Because he's got so many wealth around the country. So those things, when he requests the IG for additional security, he'll always be given those security. And that's why the numbers become so big. They're not necessarily guarding him in his house, but they're scattered all over where he has some business. That is what Junet was questioning. Those are private business. Why should they be given the government security at the expense of Wananchi? So his security has grown because of his wealth. He's growing. And the other thing I want to say about saying the life audit that was done by Matiangi, it's not life audit. Matiangi had to give the value of what they're guarding. Sababu huwezi sema ni kibanda and you have put four policemen. No, you have to say the value of that particular place that you are putting the police. That's why the acreage has to come in and everything. Sababu it will be needless to say hata ako na kibanda na tumeweka askari sita. No, you must give the value of what you're guarding. So it was not a life audit as Ruto is trying to tell us. No. Then the other issue is the lies that Ruto are saying. Even today, he said a lot of lies in response to this. So these lies are becoming too much. And you see the tag of he's a liar is now coming in. And in this forum, I think I said earlier that it has not started. Wakati itaanza, you see more things. And Ruto will run away from what he's standing for. You see, he started this by saying hustlers against dynasty. He left that one. He came to bottom up. Bottom up is also going to leave it. Now he's now declaring that he has wealth. So as long as he's going to change this narrative and combined with his lies, the people that have been supporting him will come and see through him. Nasema siku za mwezi na usiku 40. Soon or later, and I'm saying maybe as early as March next year, this guy's lies and tactics is going to be, known to people, and then it's going to start losing ground. So, whatever these guys, because I think Ruto's team have been relying on propaganda. Propaganda's life is very short. It cannot be forever. Unlike the opposite side, let's say Raila, he talks facts, things that they don't change over time. But easy the Ruto, you give them a very short lifespan, and they come a year to hustle against dynasty. It did not last 6 months. And these other things also will not last because they are lies. They're not based on anything. They're not based on facts. But when facts starts coming out, then he'll start going down. That's what I want to submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Naona kuna mtu ako na swali kwako. Jonathan, ni swali?
No, I have something a little to add up. I mean, like tomorrow, you will have even like the things that he said about Safaricom. You will end up like find out like we'll be shocked that tomorrow Safaricom will come out and say that it's a lie also, and that he has shares with Safaricom for 400,000 shillings. We'll end up being tomorrow is also a lie because we don't. Now we are coming to know that everything that is coming through our dearest deputy president from his mouth, everything is all about a lie. Because how are we going to trust him when he's always telling this thing? Tomorrow will change to this. He will say this. I will say this, and someone will come and say no, he was lying. We are not even associated with him. So for me on my side, I'm like saying like everything that what is our dearest deputy president is telling us, everything that is coming from his mouth is a filthy lie.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's exactly what I was saying. The lies have been too much since YK92. We had Jirongo saying he used to bring the T-shirts, and recycle. Since '92, all these lies he's been saying. When they were campaigning for the first time, he said a lot of lies: the stadiums, the laptops, the internship, the employment. All these things are lies. They have become too much, and people will see through them. Vile unasema, even the Safaricom, they might come out and say this is a lie. The eggs he's saying he's selling for 1 million, what 1 million, 1.5 million. People start questioning, where is he selling these eggs? People start questioning, unless he's selling them to Uganda, which I don't think so, because Uganda eggs are the ones that are coming this side. So the lies will catch up with him.
Thank you. We have now Tony to contribute. There are people who are saying that the debate is one-sided, but I don't choose the audience. I don't choose the panelists. People come in the way they want. So if one side has more people, I don't control that. You are free to join the debate if you find your candidate is not being defended. Kindly.
Yes.
With that note, I'd like to maybe give you a space for somebody to come in but I'll be following from the background. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me say hi to everyone in here today, and let me give my input on this debate. Yeah, as far as the DB is concerned, in my own opinion, the DB is very smart in capitalizing in every opportunity he gets. He makes it a positive in every angle that his aggressors get the opportunity of accusing him. The way it started after the withdrawal of the security, it came from his side with a loud cry, and I am sure there was a letter from his office, a letter of protest, which of course he knew about. That's from his personal assistant. And later on, when the CS was summoned by the parliamentary group to explain as to why they did withdraw the security, so of course the CS had to oblige and prepare his presentation. Among the presentation, he included all the properties owned by the DP and how he has distributed the security to the same. Now, he couldn't have had any other choice of saying he